Revolution. You guys see the crown? That's a beautiful picture right there. Now, who designed that building? Bruce Graham and Dr. Kahn. Now, these two gentlemen worked for Skidmore, Owing, and Merrill back in the day. This building was completed in 1973, and that building moves 18 inches each way on a windy day. Today, it would be moving. If you're going up there tonight, it would be fun to go in there. And then if you do go up there on a windy day, go in the bathroom because the toilet bowl water will swish around up there. Today's a good day. I wish I was not working. I'd be going up there when we get off the boat right now. Now, if you're afraid of heights, go down below. There's 7 different restaurants, public access. It's free down below. Now, if you go up to the top, you got to pay. Now, over 110 stories, over 100 elevators, still the fastest elevators in that building today. And it has automatic window washing. Now, that building, how did they come up with the design of Sears Willis Tower? Well, the two gentlemen sat down at a table in the 60s. In fact, in the 1920s all the way to the 1990s, cigarette smoking very popular. So the two gentlemen sat down at a table, they opened a pack of cigarettes. They opened the pack of cigarettes, tipped it upside down, tapped it on their finger. What came out? 2 to 3 cigarettes, different heights. So if you look at the building, pretend they're each a pack or a cigarette. Each 9 box is like a cigarette. They stacked them side by side, and that's how they came up with bundled tubular construction. Is that pretty crazy? Something so simple, but it works so well. Now, why do we call it Willis over Sears? Well, they sold the naming rights, and they used to occupy the building the most. Willis is a British insurance company, and they actually insured the Titanic back in the day. Now today, who occupies that building the most? United Airlines. Now, the naming rights have expired, so I'm wondering, does it go back to Sears? And it's a beautiful building. So that is the tallest steel constructed building in the United States. Number 2, the Empire State Building. I think it's the 26th tallest building in the world today. I need to look up, you know, buildings go up all the time. Many years ago, yes, it was. That's correct. Now, in 1999, we had a gentleman wear a Spider-Man outfit, made his own suction cups, and he climbed all the way to the top of that building. He started at 4 a.m. in the morning, and the city waited for him to get to the very top, and they greeted him with some beautiful silver bracelets called handcuffs. Yes, don't climb the buildings. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know. Now, over here to your right, this is a Mercantile Exchange building. Look at this building. Now, look at the zigzag formation up there. Why is that? Well, when you work in the city, everybody wants a window view. This way we get 16 offices with a window view. Now, we saw the bridge houses. You guys see the bridges? Look at the bridges. And I want you to see this bridge house, especially my students. Take a look. This bridge house coming up 100 years old. Look at the roof on that bridge house, and look how close it is to that building. What, 6 to 7 inches? Yeah, did they calculate their math correctly? They sure did. I do take my students on the boat tour. I don't give the tour, another tour guide does it. Now over here to your right, look at the Opera House. As I talk about it, see if you can find the 70 different faces on that building. Built in 1929. It opened 6 days after that great stock market crash. Now it's Art Deco. It holds 3,500 people in there. It's called the Joffrey Ballet. It's financially strong today, but it is very good. I'm not a ballet fan, but I went a few years ago and it was incredible. I loved it. Yes, that is a winter thing for Chicagoans. Now there's a reason the building faces west and why it faces east. So if you want to download a fun podcast on that building, it's very fun. Talks about a gentleman dating a young lady who is married and a mistress. Yes. Now over here to your right, this is the Bank of America building. Look at this, pretty. Now who's the architect? Gesh and Partners. Remember the building with the 30,000 gallons of water at the top? Yes, same architect. We did tear a building down to build this. Now when you build on the water, you must provide public access. You can bring a sandwich, a beverage out here and sit along the river. You're allowed to do that. Beautiful restaurant over there. The bar is a little pricey. Had somebody on the boat $32 for a cocktail. I was like, oh, it used to be $14. I know. I know. One time I walked in there like a year ago and it was $24 and I was like, I'll just take water. And then I had to leave. Yeah. Starbucks. Where was the first Starbucks? Seattle. Who has the largest Starbucks roastery reserve in the world today? Chicago. Yes, we do have the largest one. It's on Michigan Avenue. You should take the kids there. It's 5 levels, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And there's a bar on the 5th floor. Yes, an espresso martini. Sounds good. My favorite beverage, Lakeshore Drive. It's a vodka drink with a popsicle in it. Isn't that pretty cool? Yeah. Now, how we doing, Jeff? Yeah, Jeff's like, take the kids there right before bedtime. No. I know, then I gotta deal with them in the morning, right? All right, 1860, none of these buildings were here. We put up a temporary setting called the Wigwam, and this is where we nominated our 16th president. Do you guys see the barge? Look at this barge. See the pilot, the captain? That thing goes down, and then when he gets under these bridges, he brings it back up. This is a working river today. That's pretty cool to see that. Now over here, the Riverwalk, completed in 2016. There's Sears Willis Tower again. Look at that beautiful picture. There's all our locals. Hello, Chicago. Let's all wave to them. Yay! Sunny, warm day. They're all reading. They're like, no. Now, you can walk from here to the lake, 1.2 miles. There we go. We got some wavers. Yay! Say hello. Yes, the Hollywood wave. Good job. This guy's dancing it out. Dancing it out. Dancing it out. Dancing it out. Yep. I know. See? Chicago. You never know what you're going to get, right? Now, I'm so busy talking to these people. Okay, here we go. Look at this building. See this building, 33 West Wacker Drive, the most beautiful building on the water. See how it bends with the river? That's called contextualism. Now, famous movie was filmed there. Dad was working in his office. His son was skipping school. What movie? Someone said it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's correct. All right, look at this bridge house. Look at the very top of this building. You guys see the satellite dish? Look up above. See how it looks like our bridges? Remember, we have 37 bridges. Look how our architect models our city. Now down below, look at the projectors, river level, and look at the largest movie screen in the world. Yes, Art on the Mart. It's going to play tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Locals, artists, and it projects and music. Anybody here from Neocon? Look at that big. I've never seen those wrapped like that. You know, it's probably a big like kitchen, right? Industrial. My favorite restaurants are in that building, the Merchandise Mart. Go to the 3rd floor, head east. My favorite, 15 different restaurants, and the cheapest poke bowl in the city, $9 in there. Yeah. See? Recession friendly, girl. Yeah. Only open Monday through Friday. All right, look at this building over here to your right. Notice it's one building but different on the right versus the left. That's called postmodern. We're honoring the old versus the new. Down below, my favorite gelatos in the city. In the summer, I'll come over here, get a gelatos and catch the show. It's so fun. This weather's incredible. Isn't this wonderful? Yeah. We've been waiting for this weather for a long time. Yes, the water does change. Right now it's a little low because we're supposed to expect some rain here. Yes. In fact, when we get off the boat, they might have to lower the ramp. It might be too high. Sorry. All right, over here to your right, the theater area. Why do we call it the theater area? When people see water and it's warm out, they want to sit back, relax, and enjoy the water. So people work in these buildings. When it's sunny out, they'll come eat their lunch out here. Pretty cool. See the building in the back? See how it's set back? That building built in the 1920s. We didn't have air conditioning, so it's designed for shading and ventilation. That's why it's set back. It's like an armchair. We can sit back on it. Now over here to your right, you're going to see all these fancy bars in the city. They're only open from spring till fall. All these fancy ones over here open all year round. Beautiful. It's so lovely. This is perfect weather. Yeah. Now over here, see the building with the 2 5s? That's 55 Wacker Drive, another style of architect. That's called brutalism. I call it the hashtag Chicago building, or the pound sign on a keyboard. But look at the building to the left. You see the gray granite building coming up? Look at the windows. See the silver things? Those are called mullions. That building is so dark and gray, it's hard to get the sunlight in the building. So they put those silver things in the window to draw the sunlight in that building. Famous advertising company in there, the Leo Barnett Advertising Company. You guys know Ronald McDonald, Tony the Tiger, Snap, Crackle, Pop, and the Marble Man all came out of that building. And then this street coming up, this is State Street with the hole in it. It is closed till September. They found some major damage to the bridge, so they closed it down. It still goes up. But the Chicago Theater, look at the fun sign over there. Yeah, go take a picture over there. My favorite restaurants are over there. My favorite desserts over there. And the original Marshall Fields. It's now a Macy's. All right, over here to your right, the Jewelers Building. You guys seen the movie Transformers Batman? We blew up the building several times. You see the temples and the large Tempe 8. Look at over here, the green terracotta with the gold at the very top. That is real gold on the top of that building. That's the home of the Pindree Hotel. They do serve a rooftop bar up there. Cocktails and sushi they serve up there. Yeah, I've never been. Do you love sushi? What? Okay, I do love sushi. I love that too. I love the Filipino food is good too. The spicier the better. See, she gets me. Food, school. All right, to your right, go back to the Jewelers Building there. You guys see the 2 temples? There's actually 4 small ones in that large one. Back in the day, they called it the Jewelers Building because they have massive elevators. You would drive your vehicle in there with your jewels and go all the way to the top and sell them up there for safety. The London Guarantee to your right, this white tower, it's called Mather Tower. It was the tallest building in the world. For only 10 days after that great Chicago fire, everybody was building skyscrapers. Now in the front of this building, that's a style of architect. That's called French Beaux-Art right there. But come over here. Here's my favorite picture in the city. To your left side of the boat, the Wrigley Building. I'll talk about that on the way back. So you got the Wrigley Building, the building with the onion on top, the Intercontinental, and the Chicago Tribune. Isn't that a gorgeous picture? Yeah, we're making memories. See, where's all my students? They're like, do it. All right, this is our lowest bridge we're gonna go under. This bridge is 105 years old. It just turned 2 weeks ago. And it's dual level of traffic, up above and down below. Now come to your left, look at this, the Chicago Tribune. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that, that is neo-Gothic style of architect. That's what the University of Chicago down south looks like. The old newspaper offices today, it's residential. You can live in there. Look at the flying buttresses. Looks like Notre Dame in Paris. Now we have students on the boat. I'm going to give you some homework. When you get off the boat, walk around that building. Parts from all over the world are cemented and labeled in that building. Is that pretty cool? Yes. Now, to your right, we're going to come to the right. See these 2 brownstone buildings? That's the Hyatt Regency, the largest hotel in Chicago, over 2,000 rooms. Now, this boat tour does run in the winter, and people go here for conferences. You know why they stay there? They don't have to come outside. They go underground from building to building. But look in the distance. See the building with the needle? Or the point, people say it looks like a mechanical pencil. That's the Prudential building. To the left of it, see the square rectangular building with the dark vertical lines and it's white on the outside? That is the 4th tallest building in Chicago. It's called the Aon Building. Now, the architect made a mistake on that building. He used beautiful Italian marble on the outside of that building, but he forgot about that thing called winter. So after 10 years, it started to deteriorate. They were concerned, pieces falling off, people walking below. So they had to remove that beautiful Italian marble and replace it with granite. It cost over $80 million. More money to replace the outside of that building than to actually build it. Now we have free fireworks tomorrow night. Stand here at 9 o'clock tomorrow, Columbus Drive. best view of the fireworks in our city. You don't have to go all the way to Navy Pier. All right, come left. The Swiss Hotel. Notice it looks like a triangle. Who is this architect? Harry Weiss. He loved the nautical theme. It's like the bow of a ship. But look in between the Swiss Hotel and the James Hardie. See the building back there with the undulated balconies? Each balcony is different. Now, that's the Aqua building. The architect is Jeannie Gang. Why did she make those buildings undulated? Different sizes. We have a bird issue in Chicago. Over 1 million birds die every year. They can't see these glass windows in the high rises. She designed that building so the birds wouldn't fly into it. Now, when you build your new skyscrapers, you must prevent the birds from flying into it. Now, look at this building to your right. See this blue-green glass windows? Look at this. This is the St. Regis. This is the largest, tallest residential building in the world, designed by a female architect. Is that incredible? Yeah, Jeannie Gang is her name. Gang and Company. She is from Illinois. Now, what do you guys see on the 83rd floor up there? A space. It's a hole. Now, when Jeannie Gang built that building, she didn't put a hole in her building. What was happening? In the wind, the building was shuddering back and forth. When the building shudders back and forth like that, eventually the windows will crack and break. So she removed 4 apartments. Now look at the second building. See how it's shorter? And the third. Those are called setbacks. So she gave everybody a view of the river and everybody a view of the lake. Now in the middle of that building, that's the St. Regis Hotel. That is probably the most bougiest public bathroom in our city. Yes. It is very cool in that building. In fact, if you're interested in a rooftop bar, that is probably my favorite rooftop bar. You go up to the 14th floor. They serve cocktails, food. The London House is $26 a cocktail. Here it's $18 a cocktail. I saved up all my boat tip money last summer, and I brought some friends, and I was like, oh my goodness, I saved all my money up because I thought it was going to be really, really expensive. But it was not bad for a rooftop. And then over here, Lakeshore East. Remember 77 neighborhoods? In 1990, the only thing over here, a 9-hole golf course. Look at this. All these buildings have gone up. Is that incredible? Yes. It's pretty cool, our city, huh? Let's talk about this river one more time. So, remember in the 1800s what we did to the river? Yes, we polluted it, right? Now, the river in the 1800s used to flow into Lake Michigan. Today, we reverse the flow of the river. In the 1800s, remember, we would dump the carcasses in the river. We would dump our raw sewage in the river. We would dump our trash in the river. Remember, it was so disgusting? Chickens could walk from one side of the river to the other. There's the party boat. It is fun. Watch out for my bird, Freddie. Freddie, you got the name. Good job. They're getting ready to take that big boat out on the lake. See, everybody's happy. It's beautiful. So they dump the carcasses, the raw sewage, our trash. Remember, chickens could walk from one side of the river to the other? Well, this was our drinking water. People were dying, cholera, typhoid. So the city was like, we got to do something. So they dug 36 feet deep for 26 miles. Remember, if we turn this boat around, in 30 days we could end up in the Mississippi. Now, we dug more dirt out of this river than the Panama Canal. Then on January 2nd, 1900, we blew up the dam to reverse the flow of the river. In 10 days, we cleaned up our water. Chicagoans, get excited. We got clean water. St. Louis was like, oh, no, you don't. You just sent all your polluted water down to us. We're like, no, we didn't do that. They're like, yes, you did. We're going to take you to court. We're like, where do you want to have court? They're like, we'll come to Chicago. Who do you think won? Chicago won. Now, anybody on the boat from St. Louis? Okay, we're good. How St. Louis gets us back? They take our... You did? Was it fun? Nice. Good job. So how St. Louis gets us back? They take our polluted water, they bottle it up, and they sell it back to us as Bud Light and Budweiser. So mean. Oh no, she just drank that beer. I know. They're doing a lot of good things to clean up our water. Now, behind us, in front of us, over here, that's Lake Michigan, which is the 3rd largest fresh body lake in the world. Deepest part of Lake Michigan, 930 feet, near Green Bay, Wisconsin. And people go, Remember I told you these bridges open in May. We open our bridges every Wednesday and Saturday. They're called French bridges, bascule bridges. And we open them every Wednesday and Saturday in May for the sailboats to go back out on Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan from the shoreline 3 miles out, only about 28 feet deep, so it will freeze on the shoreline. And then in October we open our bridges every Wednesday and Saturday because the boats have to come off the lake. That's always hard for Chicagoans. What do you think of that view? Where's all my students? Are they taking pictures? Selfies? You should be over here. You can stand up. Just don't stand on the chairs or the benches. Feel free to take a picture. Did they go downstairs? They got tired of the teacher, huh? I don't know. She's so sweet, right? I'm gonna have her come back 7th grade for me. Now, Navy Pier. Who's been to Navy Pier? Yes, the second most popular tourist destination. It's air conditioned and heated in the Ferris wheel. My favorite margarita, the Sable Hotel. They got a little outside area over there. Millennium Park. Who's been to Millennium Park? Yeah, what's there in Millennium Park? The beam. What's the correct name of the beam? Cloud Gate. Now, why did he design it like a beam? Well, he did that on purpose. If you go directly underneath the beam and look up, people get close to you. He did that on purpose to bring the locals and the tourists all together. Pretty cool, huh? Now, people go, when do we dye this river green? When do we dye it green? St. Patrick's Day. Now, who dyes it green? The Plumbers Union. What do they use? Vegetable oil. They use vegetable oil, and it's orange vegetable oil. As soon as they hit the water, it turns that line green. Why did they use vegetable oil? To protect the what? Fish. That's right. Can you imagine the fish are probably like, oh no, here comes that vegetable oil. I know, I always think of the little fish. You can fish in our river. In fact, they usually have free fishing, you know, over there by Art on the Mark. Remember where the giant movie projects? Saturdays and Sundays, the city puts on free fishing. So they bait the line for you, they provide the pole. You just fish, catch the fish, they'll take the fish off for you. You don't have to touch anything. It's great. But it's pretty cool what we do in our city. Lots of free movies. In fact, July, I have a few days off in July. I'm going to catch the movies in Millennium Park. Okay, over here to your right, you see this building to your right, this black building? It's Lake Point Tower. I call it the fidget spinner building. Doesn't it look like a fidget spinner? Yeah. It is residential. They were not supposed to build this building over here east of Lakeshore Drive. They built it anyway. Now there's a written law in place you can't build it. Now notice the shading's down. Why? It's a beautiful evening. Well, that building gets so much reflection and sunlight that they try to keep the building cool. Now, if you live in that building and you walk to the edge of your apartment, try to look and see your neighbor, it's 100% private. Now, many famous residents have lived there. You guys know Oprah Winfrey? She told everybody she lived there, but she didn't live there. She lived by the Water Tower Plaza, the John Hancock. But Sammy Sosa, Scottie Pippen, Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn, and Alice Cooper have all lived in that building. Here to your right, we got a lot. You're going to see this building to your right. That building is residential, Skidmore, Owing, and Merrill. They're going to build a second one by this excavator right here. Now, for years, I've been giving the tour. Nothing but a hole here, 100 feet deep in weeds. We were supposed to build the tallest building in the world here in 2009. It was called the Spire. Remember that one that went straight up in the air? Well, what happened in 2009? We had the housing market crash, the recession. So the builder and the architect went bankrupt. But we got 2 new buildings coming up. Now over here to your right, this is residential. Many architects are not fond. They say too much color. And this architect is James DeStefano. He is from Illinois, but I think he liked New York City. What does it look like in the upper top corner there? Yeah, it looks like the Statue of Liberty. Now down below these trees, 4-level luxury condominiums. In the middle is a pool. But I want you to look at the building in the back there. See, it's lit up beige, bright at the top. That is the most expensive penthouse in Chicago. $51 million. Who lives in there? Anybody know? Star Wars guy. George Lucas lives right there. And you want to know the highest apartment in the city? Right here, Jeannie Gang's building, the St. Regis. Look at that, right across. Isn't that fun? George Lucas is not going to be happy with me, huh? All right. This is the Centennial Fountain, representing 100 years. You see the green light? That's good. We're not going to get wet. But a fountain every hour shoots directly across the river. You can actually go through it. It's pretty cool. This is a very good hamburger place. I do like it. Easy service. You can eat along the water. For 2 years I passed by and I'm like, it's always busy. And I ate there and I was like, great service, reasonable prices. Easy McNeil's, pretty good. Alright, over here to your right, the Sheraton Hotel. Look at this building. Now this is the 4th largest hotel in Chicago. You guys see the green colored glass windows? See how it looks the same color as the river? They did that on purpose. In fact, this has the largest grand ballroom on the 3rd and 4th floor. It's the size of an NFL football field. Who has enough friends to throw a party in there? Do you? Good job, yeah. That'd be cool. Maybe Taylor Swift, Beyonce. The last person that threw a big party in there were the Obamas. Yeah. And he was here a couple weeks ago. Checking on his presidential libraries, and he ate at his favorite restaurant. It was on the news. But when he stays in Chicago downtown, he'll stay here at the Sheraton. This is his favorite hotel. It's called Peaches. I don't remember the whole name, but it starts with Peaches, so look it up. I know, I'm sure it's busy now because he's shouted out to everybody. Now over here to your right, this is NBC Tower. Art Deco again. See the vertical lines? It looks like NBC Rockefeller Square in New York. It's residential. You guys remember the Jerry Springer show when he was alive? It was recorded there all the time. And then over here to your right, this is the University of Chicago, the Bleacher Center. Remember their main campus down south, neo-Gothic style, beautiful? This is one of their campuses. You see the green glass windows? That's a professor's office. And then as the boat's moving forward, you see the setbacks again. 36 classrooms, no windows. Top 10 university, very expensive. Well, 90 Nobel Prize winners out of the University of Chicago, second to Harvard. Is that pretty impressive? Any alumni on the boat? I always like to give them a shout out. Nope. I know, I went to the University of Texas. I'm a Longhorn, Austin. I know. Well, that's pretty cool. Oh, aerospace. I love it. Good job. And you guys know the Apple Store over here. You can have, free, they clean the windows. Look at them cleaning the windows. Every 2 weeks they clean the windows on that building. All right, the Wrigley building. Take a look at the very top. You guys see the clock? Does it look like Roman numerals or do they all look like W's on that clock? What do you see? W's. Well, it's called the Wrigley building. Did I tell you about the Wrigley building? No, I didn't. I didn't tell you. So Wrigley, he's known for chewing gum, juicy fruit double mint gum. How he started? He sold baking soda. He included one piece of chewing gum. People started buying it for the chewing gum. So then he started only selling chewing gum. Now this building built in 1925. Over 250 white terracotta different colored tiles on this building. First building to get electricity and air conditioning. In fact, it's my favorite Walgreens in the city. Go to the 2nd floor. It has the cheapest souvenirs in the city. It's pretty cool. Now the last thing I got to teach you. Look behind you, the Chicago flag. See the 4 stars? Probably the most popular tattoo of locals in our city. We have our own city flag. Those 4 stars, first star, Fort Dearborn, first military base. It was right here by the bridge house. Lake Michigan used to come all the way up here. The 2nd star, we had the World's Fair, remember, 1893? I'm sorry, the first one, Fort Dearborn. 2nd one, we had that great Chicago fire. 3rd star, we had that World's Fair 1893. And then we had the World's Fair again in 1933. Now you know a little bit about Chicago. What do you guys think? Did you like the tour? Yeah, the teacher didn't do so bad. I know, you got nervous. I got nervous too. Thank you for choosing Wendella. We've been in business